we looked at life cycles of different animals. We really concentrated on butterflies, frogs, and praying mantis. So it was kind of an interesting process. It was some things that we had done before in our classrooms, and we just wanted to add to it and make sure that all kids got to do it. And we gave them some opportunities to do things, and I'm going to go over all that. I just want to get everything set out first. I'm also going to pass around some of the journals that the kids worked on and that they wrote. You will see that not all of the journals have the best handwriting. They don't all have words spelled correctly, but some of the drawings in them were wonderful. And I had to share those because I thought even though they didn't write complete sentences or have things the way we wanted them, they had some of the best drawings, so we know they were catching on to what we were talking about. So I'm going to pass those around. There's also some brochures in there about a park we went to. I'll let you guys look at it. Okay. So as I said, it was called First Grade Transformations. Yeah. We started our unit out by just going outside. We have a school garden at our school. And as it became springtime and weather warmed up, we actually went out and just told the kids to look around and see what animals they could find. And as you can see, they came up with lots of bugs. These are just a few more pictures of that. There are gardens that they were in, and girls, boys, everybody. If they found a bug, an insect of any kind, they picked it up. We had worms, we had bugs that I couldn't tell you what they were, just lots of the ladybugs. They picked up anything they could see. Okay. We then used the QFT process, or the question formulation technique, to let the kids develop some questions. And that's what some of these green papers up here are. They're the questions that the kids actually developed. We asked them we showed them a video actually with no words. They watched a very short 3-minute video that told about caterpillars' transformations. They just watched the whole process. And as they watched it, we told them we wanted them to come up with questions that they could ask about that. And they developed lots of really good questions. Some of them were, what do butterflies drink? How do caterpillars make a cocoon? I want to know how caterpillars turn into butterflies. We let them develop the questions. As we looked at the focus question then, we helped them come up with that. With them being first grade, we didn't necessarily let them decide exactly what questions, but we looked at them and asked what they thought would be the most important questions to ask or to answer as we went. We then ordered caterpillars, we had tadpoles, and we had an egg case from praying mantis. When the caterpillars arrived, the kids were very excited, as you can imagine. They were teeny tiny when we first got them. In the picture that you're looking at, the kids are actually checking them out. They're writing in their journals about them, drawing about them. We watched them the whole time as they changed. Let's see. Okay. And then they finally went into their chrysalis stage. The kids were amazed to watch these. If you look through the journals, you will see that there are several kids who wrote about what the caterpillars were doing each day. They talked about them getting bigger. They noticed if they changed color, when they moved to the top of the lid in the cup. When they went into their pupa or chrysalis, they wrote all about it, and it was things that we didn't even have to tell them. They were finding this all out on their own, doing their own research. We found kids that were looking for butterfly books and caterpillar books without us having to say, let's try to learn about this. They were doing a lot on their own. At the same time we were doing this, we had also shown the kids an egg case for a praying mantis. Kind of looks like a wasp nest, and we have a picture in a little bit to show you, but it kind of looks like a wasp nest. We did not tell the kids what it was. We put it in our habitat, we showed them, we said, make a guess. So they made several guesses. Some kids thought it was a cocoon. Some kids thought it was a centipede. Some kids thought it was a frog. So we had lots of interesting guesses, but we watched it as it began to change also, and they kept note of all this in their journal. And this is the egg case. It's kind of hard to see, but these are the baby praying mantis coming out. There's one of the teeny tiny ones here. If you ever decide to do this, you will get about 80 to 100 praying mantis at one time. And it's a little weird and a little creepy, but not to the kids. They loved it. We did watch them for about 3 days. You don't get to keep them very long. As we watch them grow, we are also, as I said, watching some tadpoles. We did not order these, but Miss Cottle was nice enough to go out and find us lots of baby tadpoles. We are still watching our tadpoles grow at this time. As we did all this, we continued our unit of study. We talked about butterflies being really good at camouflage. The smaller butterflies that are on our chart were butterflies that the kids colored and placed around the room in places that they could see were a place to camouflage those butterflies. So if you notice them in an odd color or pattern, it's because they were trying to camouflage them in with the classroom. The larger butterflies, the kids colored after we talked to an entomologist about butterflies. And he told them that the more colorful a butterfly is, the less likely it was to be eaten. So they wanted to make sure their butterflies were very colorful. Okay. This was our field trip that we went to Bays Mountain Park, which is in Kingsport, Tennessee. We got to speak to an expert about bugs, butterflies, and arachnids. He showed us lots and lots of different bugs and butterflies. He also showed us several spiders. The kids had some really good questions for him and actually knew a lot going in based on what they had been learning from this. And they were actually the first to ask him what we needed to do for our praying mantis because they had just hatched at that time. And he recommended that we release them very quickly. Next, the students designed their own butterfly and frog habitats based on what they knew. They could design them with anything they wanted. We recommended that they use recycled materials. These are a few pictures. This one was much too large for us to bring in today and weighs about 30 pounds because he made sure there was dirt and a pond and everything a frog would need. Some of the others, as I said, were up here. We had a butterfly habitat, and definitely based on what they'd seen from the habitat we had, the butterflies could live in that and that one. So all recycled materials, things that they could do on their own. This little girl actually told us that she wanted to bring a real frog, but her mom told her absolutely not. So she put her fake frogs in. But they use lots of things. They come up with these projects and did them. They presented them in class. We actually had 2 students to go to our school board meeting on Monday night, and they presented to the school board and to the families there and talked about what they learned. And then we finally had a release party. We released 13 butterflies live from our 3 classrooms, which was a pretty good rate. We did have to have a valuable lesson that same day, as one of the butterflies was accidentally stepped on after we released it, and there was a butterfly funeral. But again, that helped with the life. As we were talking about life cycles and transformations, that was just one more thing. They also learned that with praying mantis, that they eat their brothers and sisters if you leave them in the cage too long. So that was another life lesson that we found out as we were doing this. But overall, I think our kids have really learned a lot from it. We were able to go on the field trip that we wouldn't have been able to do before. We were able to spend a lot of extra time, do a lot of extra stuff with it because of the grant. I feel like the kids really benefited from it, and I think they've learned a lot. We still, the final thing that we will do with this is they will turn around and they're going to make a presentation however they want to do it. If they want to stand up and tell us about it, if they want to make a PowerPoint, if they want to write something to tell us what they've learned from what we've done with this. As they do that, before they start that, we're going to develop a student-based rubric that they're going to help us design and see what they think they should include. We'll let them do that and help them score it before the end of the year. Does anybody have any questions?
How do you plan to maybe sustain this for future years since the grant money won't be there next year?
Well, the habitats that we purchased, the butterfly habitat and the praying mantis habitat, we will have, and all the materials. We actually also bought their little plastic life cycles of each animal. Those we'll have, and the actual caterpillars and praying mantis are $5. So it's not an expensive thing to do at all. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.